IVM.
Hello and welcome to the Habit Coach Podcast, the bite-sized podcast filled with quick and easy, actionable habits. Remember, great habits create that awesome life. I am Ashdin Doctor, your habit coach. And today's fun fact of the day has to do with sharing content online. Did you know that share button we take for granted on our mobile phones and everywhere has been the center of a lot of controversies? You see, the original share icon or share button was designed by Alex King, a WordPress developer. And the rights for this icon was then sold to a company called Share This. And it started sending out notices to other companies and users who had already used this icon on their websites. And as a result, what we're left with today is a hodgepodge of different icons. Each operating system has its own icon. Apple is different from Android, which is different from Windows, etc. It gets very confusing to search for these share buttons if you're not familiar with an app or a program. Like, I find it difficult to use my parents' phones and they find it difficult to use mine. And the reason being, it is difficult to communicate so much information with just one icon. Think about it. And hence the fight for it. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to conduct a workshop for over 350 employees of a very large company. And the topic was habits for a successful life. So I started the discussion by explaining what success means and how success is unique to each of us. How success feels different if you do it for yourself or for others. And he spoke about how to define success for ourselves and what our successful life would look like. We discussed visualization, followed by planning, and finally action. It was a great success. We had long question answer sessions too. And in the question answer session, a gentleman raised his hand and asked me if he could share something. He said, "I completely agree with what you said, visualizing, planning, and executing. However, there is one final step that you've missed out. I believe you have to share what you have learned and share what you have done so that others can do it too." Isn't that beautiful? And this was something so important that he was saying. You can imagine that it had a big impact on me for dedicating a whole podcast to it. There was a time when hoarding information, hoarding knowledge was power. This was because you could outmaneuver the enemy. The more you knew, the more powerful you were. All this was before Google came along. Now the amount of knowledge we have at our fingertips is absolutely amazing. We're living in a world of information abundance. The knowledge now is where to find the information and how to use it. There is absolutely no point in hoarding it anymore. The true power is in sharing it. If you can share good quality information freely with joy, that is the best. The Habit Coach podcast was created with that in mind. How can I share all my knowledge, information, then make it easily available for everyone to use? People would ask me, "Aren't you worried about people stealing your ideas and packaging it as their own?" And I would reply, "I'm happy if they did. More people will have access to it, to what I'm saying. In any case, the inspiration of these ideas comes from other people too, just like this podcast idea came from the gentleman at the workshop." So the beauty of information that gets shared is that it impacts people's lives differently, as long as it's information worth sharing. Currently, sharing has such a negative overtone because of the good morning forwards and the mindless forwards, instead of sharing information that helps people. So share this podcast and other information you come across. As a rule, I share a podcast or a video that has made me think or has an impact on my life with a minimum of 5 people, and they all appreciate it. Every time you achieve something, every time you do something, share it with people. Show them how they can do it too. That is the way our collective consciousness grows. That's how we grow as a society and as human beings. So your super simple habit for helping others starts by forming the habit of sharing. Press that little share button. Put it on your IG stories or on your WhatsApp groups. Not just for my content and podcasts. This is not an advertisement. Share all the information that you feel needs to be learned and understood. Share it with a minimum of 5 people. remember what that gentleman said. Visualize, plan, execute, and share. So start these habits and share with us your progress using the hashtag #TheHabitCoach. If you like this podcast, don't forget to check out other interesting podcasts on the IVM network. You can listen to us on the IVM Podcast app or ivmpodcast.com. You can also follow us on social media. We are at IVM Podcasts on Twitter and Instagram. If you want to reach out to me, I am Ashdin Doc on Twitter and Instagram. You can find lots more information on my website, awesome180.com, or check out different content on my YouTube channel called AWESOME180. That's Awesome180.
I hope you enjoyed that show. If you aren't following us on social media, please do. We're IVM Podcasts on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I want to let you all know about 2 new shows that we've launched this week. The first one is Millennial Athlete, hosted by Tanvi and Shlok. Both of them are, they spent their life playing badminton, and they know a lot of athletes, and they want to talk about the particular challenges that athletes face. Really, really great conversations. Do definitely check that out. The other show that I wanted to mention to you that we launched this week is Naan Curry. Naan Curry is a show it's about food and the history of food and the economics around food and its consumption and all that kind of stuff. It's a really, really interesting conversation. It's hosted by Sadaf, he's an author chef and former MasterChef India finalist, and Archit, who is a researcher who writes on behavioral science and economics. Definitely worth checking out. Besides that, we had a great week as always, right? Great stuff on all the normal shows. Do check those out. But with that, hope to see you again next week.
Hi, my name is Anupam Gupta. I'm B50 on Twitter. I am the host of Paisa Vaisa, a show that talks money. On my show, I speak to experts from every field of money and finance, from stock markets, equities, debt funds, credit cards, life insurance, every possible area of money and finance that you can think of. We even did an episode on cryptocurrency. I've got fantastic guests from mutual funds to personal finance experts everywhere. Robo-advisory, startups, just name it, we've got it. At Paisa Vaisa, we help you make smart decisions about money. You work hard for money. Now make your money work hard for you. New episodes out every Monday, and you can listen to my show on the IVM Podcast app or any other podcasting app that you have.